I'll take the extra shift, I told my manager, my voice rough from exhaustion. He frowned. That's 3 doubles in a row, you sure? I'm sure. I forced a smile. I need the money. I needed it because of Emily. When my body begged me to stop, I thought of her smile, the way she'd squeeze my hand when I said, "One day, I'll give you everything." That promise kept me alive. Later, Noah caught me outside the diner, rubbing my sore wrists. "You look like hell," he said, tossing me a bottle of water. "Thanks," I muttered, gulping it down. "You can't keep this up," he warned. 3 jobs. Barely sleeping. For what? For Emily. The words came out sharp, defensive. She deserves better than this life. Noah shook his head. You're killing yourself. She doesn't even ask for half of this. She doesn't need to ask, I shot back. I want to. She's my future. He sighed. Just don't forget you have a life too. I ignored the sting in his tone. All I could see was Emily's face. That evening, she and I sat under the old oak tree near her house, the same place we always met after my shifts. She leaned against me, her perfume soft in the night air. You're late, she teased gently. Work ran over, I said, brushing dirt off my shirt. But I made enough for the down payment on your classes this month. Her eyes lit up. You really didn't have to. I wanted to. I cut her off quickly. Your dreams matter more than mine. She touched my cheek. You always take care of me. Those 5 words filled me with warmth I couldn't describe. You'll see, I promised. One day we'll have a house, a family. I'll work myself to the bone if I have to. She smiled faintly. You don't have to break yourself for me, you know. But I saw the way her eyes softened. I thought it was love. I thought it meant she understood. The truth is, I ignored the cracks. One night, after another 16-hour shift, Noah cornered me in the street. You're burning out, he said. Why don't you take that scholarship? Go abroad, get a degree. Emily will understand. I laughed bitterly. Leave her here while I chase my own dreams? No. What kind of man would that make me? The kind of man who actually has a future, he snapped. You can't just throw everything away for her. You don't get it, Noah. My chest tightened. She's not just anyone. She's the reason I wake up. The reason I keep breathing when it hurts. He stared at me for a long time, then muttered, one day you're going to realize you gave too much. But I didn't believe him. The next day, Emily and I sat in her parents' living room. She laughed while telling me about a professor who praised her essay. You're brilliant, I told her. It's only the beginning. She leaned closer. And you'll be beside me through it all, right? Always. My answer was immediate, without hesitation. I'd give up anything for you. Her laugh was soft, almost nervous, but she kissed me and whispered, I know. That night, lying awake in my tiny apartment, I counted the bills spread across the table. Rent, utilities, tuition fees, all stacked like weights pressing down on me. My stomach growled, but I pushed the hunger aside. Emily needed the money more. In my head, I replayed her voice, you always take care of me. It was enough to silence Noah's doubts. Enough to convince me the pain had meaning. Enough to blind me to the truth waiting in the shadows. I thought love was sacrifice. I thought devotion would save me. I thought I mattered to her the way she mattered to me. I was wrong. Emily and I sat on the roof of her parents' house, staring at the night sky. She leaned her head on my shoulder, and for once, I didn't feel the exhaustion in my bones. Do you ever wonder where we'll be in 10 years? I asked quietly. She smiled. Married. Maybe 2 kids. A house with a garden. You grilling while I drink lemonade. I laughed. That sounds perfect. You always make things possible, she said. Her voice was soft, almost dreamy. You always take care of me. Those words felt like vows to me. I'll work harder, I promised. You'll have everything you ever dreamed of. She kissed my cheek. You're crazy, you know that. Crazy about you. She laughed again, light and warm, and I held on to that sound as if it were proof my sacrifices meant something. A week later, I sat in Professor Grant's office. He leaned across the desk, his glasses catching the light. You've got talent, son, he said firmly. The scholarship abroad could change your life. It's not every day you get a chance like this. I swallowed hard. I appreciate it, Professor. Really. But I can't leave. Why not? His brow furrowed. Emily, I admitted. She needs me. She's starting her degree here. I can't just walk away. His sigh was heavy. You're young. Don't anchor your whole future to someone else's dream. I forced a smile. Her dreams are mine. Think carefully, he warned. Regret is a heavier burden than sacrifice. I nodded, but inside, my mind was made up. That night, I told Emily. Professor Grant offered me a scholarship overseas, I said as we sat under the oak tree again. Her eyes widened. That's amazing. I turned it down. She blinked. You what? I can't leave you here. I want to be by your side, no matter what. She fell silent for a moment, then smiled faintly. You gave it up, for me? Of course. What's the point of success if I can't share it with you? She leaned into me, but her silence lingered. I convinced myself it was awe, not doubt. Noah was less forgiving. You did what? He exploded when I told him. I turned it down, I repeated, my tone firm. Are you out of your mind? His voice echoed in the empty street. That scholarship was your ticket out. You could have built a real future. My future is here. With Emily. He ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. Man, you're throwing everything away. For what? She's not, he stopped himself. Not what? I pressed. He exhaled sharply. Not worth losing yourself over. Don't say that, I snapped. You don't know her like I do. I know you, he shot back. And I know when you're blind. I turned away before he could see the crack his words left in me. One evening, Emily's parents invited me for dinner. Her father raised his glass. You're a good man, he said warmly. Emily's lucky to have someone so devoted. Her mother smiled. She's our only daughter. Knowing she's cared for means everything. I felt pride swell in my chest. I'll never let her down. Emily squeezed my hand under the table, but her eyes flickered away when I looked at her. Later that night, walking her home, I whispered, your parents like me. She smiled faintly. Of course they do. You'd do anything for me. That's because I love you. She didn't answer right away. Then she said softly, I know. The silence that followed pressed against me, heavier than the night air. I tried to ignore it. I told myself her smile was enough. Her presence was enough. That someday, she would look at me with the same fire I carried for her. I believed it. I had to believe it. Because every sacrifice I made was a brick in the house I thought we were building together. Because I couldn't admit. Not yet. That the cracks were already there. I dragged my tired body down the street after my third shift, the smell of grease from the diner still clinging to my clothes. Emily had said she was studying with friends, so I thought I'd surprise her. Maybe bring her dinner. Maybe just see her smile. But before I reached her door, I heard her voice drift through the open window of a cafe nearby. Laughter followed. You should have seen him, she said, her tone sharp, not sweet. Working in that ridiculous uniform, hair a mess, hands filthy. He looked pathetic. More laughter. My heart froze. Another voice joined. Male. Confident. Smooth. He's still clinging to you. Emily giggled. Of course. He worships me. It's useful. The room erupted with laughter again. I pressed myself against the wall, every word stabbing into me. One of her friends asked, "What about Liam?" My blood went cold. Emily's voice lowered, teasing. Liam's different. He's a man. He doesn't break his back for pennies. He doesn't beg for my attention. The man chuckled. Careful, you'll make me blush. The sound of her laugh with him was worse than any knife. I pushed through the door, chest tight, eyes burning. The room fell silent as they saw me. Emily, I said. My voice cracked, but anger carried it. What is this? Her smile faltered. Then she stood, arms crossed. What are you doing here? I stared at Liam, his arm casually draped across the back of her chair. Who is he? She didn't flinch. Liam. That's it? My voice trembled. That's all I get. She sighed, almost bored. You weren't supposed to find out like this. Find out what? That you were never enough, she said flatly. The words cut straight through me. You think working yourself half to death makes you special, she continued. It just made you pitiful. Everyone sees it. Her friends avoided my eyes, but I heard one whisper, God, this is awkward. I turned to her. After everything I gave up for you, every dream I buried, you call me pitiful? Emily's gaze didn't soften. I never asked you to give up anything. That was your choice. Don't blame me. My voice cracked. I loved you. She shrugged. Love doesn't pay bills. Love doesn't make me proud when I walk into a room. Liam does. Liam smirked, leaning forward. Maybe you should take the hint, buddy. I clenched my fists. Shut up. Emily stepped between us, her tone sharp. Don't talk to him like that. He's worth more than you'll ever be. The cafe felt smaller, pressing in on me. My chest ached, my breath shallow. Worth more, I repeated, numb. That's what I am to you. A number. A joke. She tilted her head. You said it yourself, you gave up your future for me. That wasn't love. That was desperation. And desperation isn't attractive. Something inside me shattered. I stumbled out before the walls collapsed on me. The laughter behind me started again, muffled, cruel. Noah found me sitting on the curb hours later, head in my hands. Hey, he said softly. Talk to me. I couldn't look at him. She was with him. Liam. She said I was never enough. He sat beside me. Damn it. I warned you. I know, I whispered. You told me. Everyone told me. But I thought if I gave everything, she'd see me. Noah put a hand on my shoulder. You don't deserve this. She doesn't deserve you. I laughed bitterly. Doesn't matter. She already chose. She mocked me, Noah. To her friends. To him. She looked at me like I was trash. His grip tightened. Then she's blind. Don't let her destroy you too. My eyes burned. It already feels like she did. For a long moment, we sat in silence. Then I whispered, the person I was, he died tonight. Noah turned sharply. Don't say that. It's true, I muttered. The boy who believed in love, in sacrifice, in her, he's gone. What's left then? he asked quietly. I raised my head, my voice low and cold. Anger. Resolve. She'll remember me, not as the fool she laughed at, but as the man she'll regret losing. Noah studied me, worry in his eyes. Just, don't lose yourself in revenge. But I had already lost myself. And in the ruins of who I was, only one thought remained. I would rise. I would make her see. And by the time she realized what she threw away, it would be too late. I couldn't escape her voice. Every night when I closed my eyes, I heard it, sharp, cruel, final. You're nothing. Those words echoed louder than my heartbeat. Hey, my manager said one morning at the diner. You dropped 3 orders again. Are you okay? I forced a smile. Yeah, just tired. He frowned. You've been saying that all week. Maybe take a break. A break became being let go. Another job gone. Another door closed. Back at my apartment, Noah stormed in, tossing a bag of groceries on the table. You didn't eat again, did you? He snapped. I looked away. Not hungry. Your skin and bones. You think starving yourself is going to fix anything? I whispered, what's the point? She's right. I am nothing. Noah slammed his fist on the table. Stop saying that. You think Emily's opinion defines you? She doesn't get to decide your worth. I stared at him, hollow. Then why does it feel like she already did? He sat down, his voice softer now. Because you let her. You gave her all the power, and now you're letting her keep it even after she's gone. The words stung. Days blurred together. I barely slept, barely moved. I sat in the dark, staring at the ceiling, replaying her laughter. Noah kept showing up, dragging me out of bed, forcing food into my hands. One night, he found me on the balcony, staring down at the street below. Don't you dare, he said, his voice shaking. I wasn't going to jump, I muttered. Then why are you out here at 3 a.m, looking like a ghost? I couldn't answer. He grabbed my shoulders. Listen to me. You either stay broken, or you rise. That's it. No middle ground. His words cut through the fog, sharp and undeniable. Rise? I scoffed. With what? I have nothing. No money, no job, no future. You have me, he said. And you still have yourself, even if you don't see it right now. I laughed bitterly. Myself? That's the problem. I hate who I am. Then change, he shot back. Burn the old you down. Build someone new. Someone stronger. Someone she'll never laugh at again. The fire in his voice startled me. Do you really think I can? I whispered. I know you can, he said firmly. But only if you stop clinging to the ashes. His words sank deep. I sat there long after he went inside, the city lights blurring in my tired eyes. For the first time, I thought about a different kind of pain, the kind that could rebuild me instead of breaking me. I whispered to the night, if I can't erase what she said, I'll make her choke on it. I'll rise, no matter how much it costs me. And in that fragile moment, a spark lit inside me. It wasn't enough to heal me. But it was enough to start. The alarm screamed at 5 a.m. I dragged myself up, knowing the bakery wouldn't wait. Back again, kid, the owner muttered as I tied my apron. Yeah, I said, forcing energy into my voice. Need the hours. You'll burn out. Better burned than broke. He shook his head, but I kept moving. Burnout was fuel. By day I worked. By night I studied, my eyes burning over business manuals and case studies I'd borrowed from the library. Every page felt like a brick in the foundation I was building. One evening, as I sat at a campus cafe, a familiar voice startled me. You always had this stubborn streak, Professor Grant said, sliding into the chair across from me. I blinked. Professor? I thought you were overseas. Returned last month. And I hear you've been clawing your way up. I gave a bitter smile. Clawing, maybe. Up? Not sure yet. He studied me. You turned down that scholarship to stay here. I thought it was a mistake. But maybe you needed the fire. I shrugged. Fire burns more than it builds. Not if you learn to control it. He leaned closer. Let me help. I've got contacts. Doors I can open. But you'll need to prove you're ready. My jaw tightened. Tell me what to do. Weeks blurred into tests of endurance. Grant pushed me toward meetings with small investors and local entrepreneurs. At one gathering, he introduced me to a group of sharp-eyed men in tailored suits. This is the young man I mentioned, Grant said. Relentless work ethic. Doesn't know how to quit. One of them smirked. That true? I met his gaze. Try me. They laughed, but I meant every word. Late one night, after a long strategy session, I stayed behind to pack up. A woman tapped my shoulder. You don't slow down, do you? She asked. I turned to see her, confident, steady eyes, a notebook in hand. I can't afford to, I replied. She smiled faintly. Sophia. I handle logistics for the firm. Logistics? That explains why everything runs smoothly. She chuckled. Flattery won't get you anywhere. But dedication might. Her tone wasn't mocking, it was respectful. I felt something unfamiliar, acknowledgement. Days became weeks. Jobs shifted, projects grew. My body ached, but my focus sharpened. Sophia often found me hunched over late-night spreadsheets. You'll collapse if you keep this pace, she said once, setting a cup of coffee beside me. I took it gratefully. Collapse later. Build now. You sound like someone running from ghosts. Maybe I am, I admitted. She studied me quietly, then said, at least you're running forward. Her words stayed with me. One afternoon, after a tense negotiation, Grant pulled me aside. You're getting sharper, he said. But don't let ambition consume you. I frowned. Ambition's all I've got left. Not true. You've got allies now. Use them. I thought of Sophia, of Noah still checking in, of the investors beginning to take my calls. Allies. The word felt foreign, but powerful. I wasn't healed. I still woke to Emily's laughter in my head. But every time I signed a contract, every time I made a connection, the echo grew quieter. Sophia caught me staring off during a break one evening. Lost in thought, she asked. Just remembering. Good memories? No, I looked at her, steady. But they're the reason I'm here. She nodded slowly. Then don't waste them. For the first time, I felt someone understood without pressing further. By the end of that year, I wasn't the same man. Exhaustion still weighed me down, but beneath it was steel. My sacrifices hadn't destroyed me, they'd shaped me. And though my heart carried scars, I wasn't carrying them alone anymore. The contract sat on the polished table, my signature drying in ink. My chest rose and fell like I'd just run a marathon. Noah clapped me on the back. You actually did it. Your first major deal. Do you realize what this means? I tried to smile. It means I'm not just the guy everyone pitied anymore. He grinned. Forget pity. They're going to envy you now. The investors shook my hand, their eyes sharp but respectful. For once, they didn't look through me, they looked at me. After they left, Sophia leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. You handled yourself well in there. I exhaled slowly. I was shaking the whole time. No one noticed. You spoke with control. You looked untouchable. Her words caught me off guard. Untouchable? Me? You've earned it, she said softly. Don't downplay it. Something in her eyes lingered, but she looked away before I could question it. Later that evening, Professor Grant raised a glass of wine. Congratulations. But don't let this victory fool you. I smirked. You always have to ruin my moment, don't you? He chuckled. Not ruin. Ground you. This deal is just the door opening. What matters is how you walk through. Then guide me, I said. I will. But remember, ambition cuts both ways. You must master it, or it'll master you. His words echoed as I nodded, pretending I wasn't already intoxicated by the taste of success. Noah dragged me out to celebrate at a crowded bar. Music pounded, people danced, and he shoved a drink into my hand. Cheers to the man who wouldn't stay down, he shouted. I raised my glass. Cheers to the friend who didn't let me stay down. He grinned. Don't get soft on me now. Tonight, you're a winner. For a while, I almost believed him. When the noise faded and the night grew quiet, I sat alone in my apartment. My phone buzzed with messages of congratulations, yet all I saw was her face, Emily, lips curled in that mocking smile. You're nothing. I gripped my glass so tightly it nearly cracked. Not nothing anymore, I whispered into the silence. But why does it still feel empty? The next morning, Sophia found me staring at the city from the office window. You should be proud, she said gently. I am. Or I should be. But, I hesitated. Why do I feel like I won the wrong battle? She tilted her head. Because some scars don't heal with contracts. Success doesn't erase betrayal. I looked at her. Then what does? Facing it, she replied simply. Her words cut deeper than she realized. Grant called later that week. There's a gala, he said. The people who once doubted you will be there. Attend. Let them see the man you've become. I hesitated. You think I'm ready for that? You'll never feel ready, he said. That's why you must go. That night, Noah clinked his beer against mine. Your first real victory, brother. But I can tell, your fight isn't finished. He was right. Even as the world started to respect me, inside I still heard her laughter. I leaned back, closing my eyes. One victory isn't enough. Not until I face them. For the first time, the idea of seeing Emily and Liam didn't terrify me, it ignited something. I wasn't done. The city skyline stretched before me like a ghost from my past. Every streetlight reminded me of nights I spent running between jobs, of laughter that cut me open, of the night Emily's voice shattered me. And now, I had returned, not as the broken boy they mocked, but as the man who held the pen that could change their future. Noah leaned beside me in the car. You ready for this? I adjusted my tie, forcing my hands to stay steady. Ready isn't the word. Hungry, maybe. He smirked. Just don't choke on satisfaction when you see their faces. The glass doors to the boardroom opened, and the air inside shifted. Suits lined the long table, whispers circling like vultures. At the far end sat Liam, arrogance plastered across his face. And beside him, Emily. Her smile froze when her eyes locked on me. The color drained from her cheeks. For a heartbeat, I almost heard the echo of her laughter, but it vanished when she lowered her gaze. Liam rose, extending a hand with forced politeness. Well, well. Look who crawled his way back. Quite the surprise. I shook his hand firmly, leaning in just enough. Not crawled. Climbed. His jaw tightened. The chairman began introductions, but I barely heard him. My focus was on Emily shifting uncomfortably in her chair. Finally, she spoke, her voice softer than I remembered. It's been a long time. I nodded. Not long enough. A murmur passed around the table, but I didn't care. Liam leaned back, smirking. Let's not get sentimental. We're here for business. I smiled coldly. Exactly. And in business, sentiment is weakness. His smirk faltered, just a fraction. The meeting began. Slides, numbers, strategies, words filled the room, but I knew the real battle was silent. Every glance Emily stole at me, every twitch of Liam's jaw, was worth more than the charts projected on the wall. At one point, Liam interrupted. Your proposal sounds ambitious. But do you really think your company can handle something of this scale? I leaned forward. Do you really think yours can afford not to? Silence followed. He clenched his pen so hard it nearly snapped. Professor Grant, seated beside me, whispered, control the tempo. You already have them cornered. I nodded, letting Liam squirm. During a recess, Emily approached me by the window. Her voice trembled. You've changed. I didn't look at her. You mean I stopped being your charity case? That's not what I meant, she whispered. I turned then, meeting her eyes. No, what you meant was that you never thought I'd be here. That I'd spend my life crawling while you watched from above. Her lips parted, but no words came. I leaned closer. Do you remember what you said that night? You're nothing. Her eyes filled with something I never thought I'd see, shame. I smiled bitterly. Well, Emily, here I am. Nothing, signing the deal that decides your future. When the session resumed, I took control of the room. Every point I made, every clause I adjusted, tilted the scales toward me. Liam's confidence cracked piece by piece. At last, the chairman said, it seems the terms lean heavily in Mr. Carter's favor. Liam's face darkened. This isn't acceptable. I folded my hands calmly. Then walk away. The room froze. The deal was too big, too vital. They couldn't walk away, and Liam knew it. After a long silence, he muttered, fine. We'll accept. As signatures filled the final page, I leaned back, watching Liam force a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Emily kept her gaze fixed on the table. Noah whispered at my side, you just owned them. I whispered back, no. I let them own their regret. When the meeting ended, Liam tried one last jab. Enjoy this win. Power shifts quickly in business. I adjusted my cufflinks, meeting his glare with calm certainty. So does humiliation. His nostrils flared, but he said nothing more. Emily lingered as everyone left. Why do you look at me like that? She asked softly. Because you taught me what pain feels like, I said. And now you get to feel what regret tastes like. Her eyes glistened, but I walked past her without another word. Outside, the city lights glowed against the evening sky. Noah clapped my shoulder. Tables have turned, huh? I let out a slow breath. No. Tables don't turn on their own. I turned them. For the first time, victory didn't feel hollow. It felt earned. And it was only the beginning. The boardroom emptied, but Emily lingered. I could feel her gaze burning into my back as I gathered my papers. Finally, her voice cut through the silence. Can we talk? Just, the two of us. I didn't look at her right away. Why? Because, she hesitated, we haven't spoken in years. I think we should. I turned, meeting her eyes. You think I've been waiting for this moment? That I wanted small talk with the girl who laughed while I bled. Her face stiffened, but she forced a smile. You've changed so much. You're successful. Strong. I just wanted to know how you've been. Alive, I said flatly. That's more than I can say for the boy you buried. She flinched, then softened her tone. I didn't mean to hurt you like that. I was young, stupid. Liam, he. Don't, I cut her off. Don't give me excuses. You knew exactly what you were doing. You looked me in the eyes and called me nothing. Her hands twisted together. Liam isn't the man I thought he was. I almost laughed. Shocking. The rich boy who bought your affection didn't turn out to be Prince Charming. Imagine my surprise. Her lips trembled, but she pressed on. I thought I'd be happy with him. But he doesn't care. Not really. He only cares about himself, about appearances. When I see you now. Don't, I said again, sharper this time. Don't you dare compare me to him. You chose him over me. You mocked me with him. You paraded him in front of me like I was worthless. I regret it, she whispered. I leaned closer, lowering my voice. Regret doesn't erase scars. Her eyes glistened. You think I don't carry scars? You think I don't wake up wondering what my life would be if I'd chosen differently? Your scars are self-inflicted, I snapped. Mine were carved into me by your hands. There's a difference. She inhaled shakily, then tried to smile again. Maybe we can start over. Maybe we can. I laughed, cold and humorless. Start over. Emily, why should I notice you now, when you never noticed me then? Her facade cracked. The practiced smile slipped, her voice shaking. Because. I see you now. I see what I lost. The words hung in the air, heavy with desperation. I studied her for a moment, the same woman who once looked through me like I was invisible. Now she was the one begging to be seen. You see me? I asked quietly. Back then, I was standing right in front of you. Working myself to death, dreaming of a future with you. You saw nothing. You laughed at my empty wallet. You mocked the hands that bled for you. And now, because I wear a suit and sit at your table, suddenly I exist. Tears welled in her eyes. I was wrong. You were cruel, I corrected. Wrong can be forgiven. Cruelty cannot. Her shoulders shook, and for the first time, Emily, the girl who once ruled every room she walked into, looked small. She reached out, fingers trembling. Please, just let me explain. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Her hand froze midair. I'm sorry, she whispered. I shook my head. No. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry because the tables turned. You're sorry because the boy you crushed isn't lying in the dirt anymore. He's standing above you, and you can't bear it. Her tears slipped free, streaking her perfect face. You hate me. I held her gaze, steady and unflinching. No. Hate requires passion. What I feel for you is colder than hate. She broke then, shoulders collapsing as she covered her face with her hands. A soft, broken sob escaped her lips. Noah stepped into the doorway, hesitation flickering across his features. Everything okay in here? Emily's sobs echoed against the walls. I looked at him, then back at her. Better than okay, I said. He nodded slowly, understanding flashing in his eyes, and left us alone again. Emily lowered her hands, mascara smeared, eyes red. What do you want from me? She asked, voice raw. I gathered my papers, slipping them into my briefcase. Nothing. That's the point. Her lips parted, but no sound came. I walked past her, my footsteps deliberate, each one echoing the distance between who I was and who I had become. Behind me, I heard her whisper, broken and desperate. Please, don't leave me like this. I didn't turn around. I already left you, I said quietly. The night you laughed. And with that, I walked out, her crumbling pride echoing louder than any laughter she had ever thrown my way. The tension in the boardroom thickened as the final terms were read. Every clause bent toward my company, every concession dragged from Liam's clenched teeth. When the meeting ended, Liam slammed his pen onto the table. "This is theft." "No," I replied calmly. "This is business." His jaw worked furiously. "You think you've won?" "I don't think," I said, leaning back. "I know." Emily touched his arm, trying to steady him. "Liam." He shook her off, storming out. The door slammed behind him. The silence that followed was almost satisfying. Emily lingered, her eyes darting between the door and me. Finally, she whispered, "He's falling apart." "Not my problem," I said, gathering my notes. Her voice cracked. "Do you enjoy this? Watching us crumble?" I met her gaze. "Do you remember enjoying it when I crumbled?" Her face paled. "I was wrong. You were cruel." She swallowed, fingers trembling against the table. "I remember everything. The look on your face. The way you broke. I hear it in my head, every night." Something inside me twisted, but I held it down. "Good. At least one of us remembers." Tears welled in her eyes. "I'm sorry. You've said that before. This time I mean it." I leaned forward, voice low. "Emily, you can't rewrite the past because it suits you now." Her lips quivered. "Don't you believe in forgiveness?" "Forgiveness," I said slowly, "is not the same as forgetting." She stared at me, desperate. "Then, forgive me. Even if you can't forget." The ache in my chest pressed hard, but I didn't let it break me. "You're asking me to give you peace. But where was my peace when you stood over me with your laughter?" She flinched. "I was stupid." "No," I said, standing, "you were honest. You saw me as nothing. And you made sure I knew it." She stood too, her voice trembling. "I don't see you that way anymore. I see someone powerful. Someone unstoppable. Someone I wish." I cut her off. "Don't finish that sentence." Her breath hitched. "You hate me." "I don't," I said flatly. "Hate ties me to you. What I feel is emptier. You don't matter anymore." Her tears slipped down her cheeks. "If I don't matter, why are you still so sharp with me?" "Because scars itch when they heal," I replied. "But they don't reopen. Not anymore." She gripped the back of a chair for balance. "I can't live with this regret." "Then that's yours to carry," I said coldly. "Mine carried me here." Her voice cracked. "Please, just tell me there's a chance. Tell me you can forgive me, even if you'll never love me." I looked at her for a long moment, the woman who once wielded power over my every breath. She was trembling now, begging where she once mocked. "You want closure," I said finally. "Fine. I forgive you." Her eyes widened. You do." "Yes. But don't mistake it for forgetting. Don't mistake it for wanting you back. Forgiveness just means I don't carry you anymore." Her lips parted, as if she might speak, but no words came. Only silence. I stepped toward the door, pausing just long enough to add, "The power you had over me is gone. All that's left is your regret." Her knees buckled, and I heard the faintest sob escape her throat. I didn't turn back. I walked out with my chest tight but my step steady, leaving Emily behind with nothing but the bitter taste of the past she could never rewrite. The ink on the final document dried with a single stroke of my pen. The deal was sealed, Liam's family would now answer to me. Across the table, Liam muttered curses under his breath. His father's shoulders sagged in defeat. Their empire, once untouchable, bent under my signature. I pushed the papers aside. "It's done." Liam glared. You'll regret this. No, I said evenly. You'll regret underestimating me. He shoved his chair back and stormed out, leaving Emily frozen in her seat. Her eyes glistened as she finally whispered, "So it's true. We belong to you now." I leaned back, my tone sharp but calm. "No. You belong to the consequences of your choices." Her lip trembled. Do you hate me this much?" The question lingered between us, fragile, almost childlike. I stood, gathering my coat. "No," I said slowly. "I just don't need you anymore." Her tears spilled, her voice breaking. "But I loved you once." I cut her off with a steady gaze. "No, Emily. You loved what I gave you. Comfort. Attention. Sacrifice. But me? You never saw me." She covered her mouth, shaking. "I was blind." "Blind?" I let out a short breath. "No, you looked straight at me and laughed. You knew exactly what you were doing." Her sobs grew louder. "If I could go back." "You can't," I said sharply. "And I wouldn't want you to. My life is built on the ruins you left. Without your betrayal, I wouldn't be here." Her eyes widened. "So I made you stronger?" "Yes," I said firmly. "But that doesn't mean you matter now. You were the fire that burned me down. I'm the ashes that learned to rise." She reached out a trembling hand. "Please, don't leave me like this." I stared at her hand, then at her face, once my world, now just a memory. "Emily," I said quietly, "the only thing I'm leaving is the ghost of who I used to be." Her knees buckled as she whispered, "You're cruel." "No," I replied. "I'm free." I turned and walked away. The boardroom behind me dissolved into silence, her sobs faint echoes in the distance. For the first time in years, my chest felt light. The chains of anger, grief, and longing slipped away with every step. I whispered to myself, steady and certain, revenge was never about destroying them. It was about proving I survived. Outside, the air was sharp and clean. My scars no longer dragged me down, they stood as proof. Proof that I rose above. Proof that I won. And with that, I walked into the light of a future that finally belonged to me.